Yeah, I'm excited.
Absolutely amazed. So I'm really looking into it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see some of the new strats and explain those in a little bit more detail, because at least for me, it's been nearly a year since I last ran this category. So
yeah,
it'll be
about the
fun for
same.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever do you like do a countdown or?
Yep.
Like,
I think you just transitioned over, so whoever wants to do the countdown can start us off.
I see Spirity is already like jumping into it, so yeah, let's go. I guess. Why would you exit the save file selection?
So I guess we just count down and start the timer when the file begins, right?
Yep. I could do it. You could do it. It's up to you.
Yeah, let's go, Axe.
All right, yeah. Spirity, if you're ready, we're gonna go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. It's gonna be probably a little bit delayed because of the stream delay, but
yeah, we're like about 3 seconds behind. Not a big deal.
No, that was actually really good on the stream. That was like spot on.
And okay, so this is the game called Hollow Knight, a 2D Metroidvania from the developer called Team Cherry, and the category is called All Skills. The objective of the category is to collect all of the game's nail arts, spells, spell upgrades, Ismasteer, and other movement abilities such as double jump, dash, and wall jump, crystal dash, so on, and then beat the final boss, which is the Hollow Knight. So that's the deal here. The category is very cool. It's pretty movement heavy, featuring some of the fast kills on some bosses, and rather like cheeky fights on some other bosses. So yeah, hopefully you will enjoy. Another thing to point out right away is that the category is run on a rather old patch of the game, 1.2.2.1. This is kind of the main speed patch of the game, because it features some of the speed tech that got later patched. And yeah, the first area of the game called King Spots, which Spirity just finished.
Yeah, not the not the cleanest King Spots, because at the beginning the objective is to skip the really long hard fall. The hard fall cancel at the start that we should have seen. Outside of that, was a is King done with a mechanic called inventory dropping. And the hard fall cancel at the start, the game lets you open your inventory anytime. Is done with a mechanic called inventory dropping, and basically the game lets you open your inventory anytime you're in the air on this patch, not on the current patch. And that basically uncaps your fall speed, and at the end of the fall, you can open the inventory with sort of precise timing to skip the like animation when you hit the ground. That kind of locks you in place for a second.
Yeah, and it's incredibly easy to mess up if you're like on the nerves like easily, because it's basically the first trick of the game, and it's just too easy to get thrown off. And now we're gonna see another trick called like the double spike. Just with a precise jump and spike kill, you can kill both aspects at the same time. And the reason for the jump is to manip Vengefly up, because this Vengefly likes to kill herself off the go and freeze the game for like half a second, so we really want to avoid that.
There's some freeze frames every time you take damage or kill an enemy, which it is definitely a skill to avoid those in HK.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on later on this kind of old patch of the game where freeze frames are a bit more punishing.
Oh yeah, for sure. And here we got the False Knight fight where basically you just have to knock him down once, and after that the devs were nice enough to put in a skip where you can just leave the arena. You don't even have to finish this fight. Not sure why they did that. It's like the only instance of a proper dev-intended boss skip in the game, but Yeah, this will be nice for us. We don't have to waste like another minute beating up this guy.
Yeah. And so as Spirity coming up to the very first progression of the game, which is Vengeful Spirit spell, basically a fireball of the game, we might discuss geo-routing a little bit. All Skills is notorious for its really tight geo pickups, and currently Spirity is at 19 geo, which is really good. It's basically swimming in geo. Spirity is rich right now.
Stonks.
Yep. You will see as like the geo.
That was a really long load into VS.
yeah, for sure. Here's the Vengeful Spirit, which will be used quite soon in rather unintended ways.
Well, first it'll be used in the intended way to beat up the Baldur, but after that we'll be seeing some cool stuff with that. And the Vengeful Spirit is basically just a fireball spell that fires a damaging little ball towards the forward direction from your character. And the resource that's used for casting those is called Soul. It's that little white bar in the top left you see, and that's filled by hitting enemies. And soul management is actually a very important skill in terms of just optimizing the run and whatnot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There are a lot of stages where you have to be very careful about how much soul you collect and how you use it. Oh, that was very like you.
Nice, yeah, the first bit Baldur. Those big Baldur guys, they have a 50-50 chance of either giving you a Baldur spit, which lets you hit the Baldur and shoot another fireball, because they can only be hit by fireballs, the big guys. So if you get unlucky, you can be waiting around for a really long time without them shooting that enemy that you can recharge your spell from.
Yeah.
It's basically a coin flip simulator at the start.
Also, the thing we haven't discussed yet that Spirit just did is opening the inventory mid-air. And the reason for
I
that...
did talk about that.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
I guess I just glossed over it. So here's actually...
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Here's actually an instance of soul management. You need at least 6 hits of soul, because you use one fireball to kill this Baldur off screen. It's the only Baldur that can die like that because of some unknown glitch. And the second fireball you will be using for this little skip. Yeah. Can you explain how it works?
Yeah, so basically there's 2 things that the fireball does for you when you use it in the air. It completely stops your falling momentum, which lets you just reach further distances with the jump, and it pushes you back a little bit. So for fireball skips, that's what those are called. You just fire the fireball in the air backwards, and it easily allows you to reach ledges that otherwise are not intended to be reached without the dash ability. And here's another one coming up in this room. Or, well, the next room, actually.
Yeah. And you see how tight the soul management is. Like, you have to kill those birds to get at least to 8 out of 9. Oh, perfect. Very good fireball skip.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that one is doable with only 1, but basically everyone does it with 2, as well as this next one coming up, because it's just so much less tight than the first one.
Also, you can see Spirit is killing most chargers and collecting the geo. So it's done for both soul management and some geo stonks. Here, some cool jumps to avoid enemies. And the next interesting trick is coming up in the upcoming room, where there will be like a mini boss called Moss Knight, and Spirity will try to kill it with one less fireball than needed by setting up so-called double hit. Double hits is an interesting mechanic in Hollow Knight. You can basically hit an enemy multiple times with the same spell if you have a good timing and sometimes good luck. Like, oh yeah, that was like right timing, but Spirity jumped a bit too high, so the fireball kind of flew over the knight. But I guess you get the idea. So the reason for that is we want to save soul as much as we can, so we don't have to like turn around and stop for collecting more from these enemies. Yeah, and we will be seeing double hits throughout the whole run, so you will see plenty of those.
Yeah, they're basically used on every single enemy that moves around fast enough at all to get the double hits. Or some enemies don't even have to move around. They're just like fat enough to hit them twice before the like iframes end. Oh, that's good RNG from these Must Knights. These guys you don't need to get the double hits on because there's 2 of them and the soldiers doesn't work out that way. But as you can see, we got a bunch of geo from that.
170 to be precise, yeah.
Yep. Wait. Oh, I thought I said 160 though. Like it's supposed to be 170. Did the geo counter reset or did Spirity just miss a little bit? I'm not sure.
There's like an interesting UI glitch with geo, is that if it starts counting down and you pick up more geo, it gets a bit confused. And then kind of updates itself in the process. And it's been like a source of a lot of confusion. So like when you pick up geo and leave the room immediately, you might think that you have more geo than you actually have. Just like something to be aware of.
Yeah, it can make you think you've been scammed out of geo. But here we have the Hornet fight, and you can see Spirity using staggers and double hits to quickly dispose of her there. It's well, those are basically the 2 mechanics that you need to use there. The Hornet and most of the bosses in this game get like staggered a little bit when you hit them enough times. So using those to lock her down as well as getting those double hits on some of her moves and staggers is quite important in that fight.
Yep. And here we're seeing a little bit of a routing strat in the speedruns. So you save and quit from the game to respawn on the last hard save or last bench that you've hidden. And yeah, this is the bench that gets set when you pick up Vengeful Spirit. And we will be using it for another quit out after the next pickup that we're gonna get. And now you see that the game kind of speeds up because we have dash in ability, so the knight can move around rather quickly.
Yeah, it's quite a big difference to how good the movement feels after you get the dash, because it is a little bit boring to just walk around without any way to speed yourself up in the rooms before you acquire this ability. And this, didn't quite get the static slash there, but
there's like very little like trick. You turn around and hit the platform at the same time, and then turn back immediately to make sure that you land on the platform without like dumping into the acid. Very satisfying to get and looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very nice because they basically whenever you hit the wall with your nail, it pushes you back a little bit, and that's what's kind of abused in that little trick. Next,
go on.
Yeah, next we have the explosion pogo coming up here after this geo collection is done, where essentially you just lure this little sporg to have its spore explode next to you, and oh my god, Spirity does a really weird one, but yeah, just basically pogoing off of the explosion hitbox, because those have hitboxes to pogo for some reason to get into that transition up there that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. And then that leads straight into another kind of tricky part, which is the mantis pogo here, where Spirity will have to use these mantises to get up to this mantis claw. They were being kind of rude there. Oh, this is scary.
This
1
is
HP.
dangerous. Nice skill.
Yeah.
That's a very important one. Yeah, it's mantises. Like if you mess up setup, even like slightly, a little bit, it becomes very hard to back up. Insanely punishing trick. And yeah.
What happened there is Spirity's like first dash in the room was a little bit too high, so he hit the ledge, and that was already enough to mess up the mantis AI to where he couldn't do like the scripted mantis pogo.
Yeah. Everything in this, every little bit of movement in this room sets up mantises in a certain way, and just a little like right and left of the scenario makes everything go wrong. So it's very hard. Very easy for it to go wrong, but Spirity survived, and this is all that matters. Just dying there would lose like 2 minutes instantly. So yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, definitely one of the worst deaths to take in the run. And well, honestly, almost every run in Hollow Knight, or every death you can take in a Hollow Knight run is super punishing. Like, there's few deaths that cost you less than a minute.
Oh yeah.
But now we do have the Mantis Claw ability, which is basically just a wall jump. Nothing too exciting about it, outside of some a little bit glitchy techniques that will be showing up in a little bit, surely.
Oh yeah, that will be super cool. I'll get around to that. And now you see another instance of soul management. So you can see Spirity collecting 6 hits of soul for the upcoming boss called Grassmother. She dies out of, you see, like 3 nail cancels and then 6 nail hits. A little bit of about nail cancel. Nail cancel is basically you cancel your nail animation, part of your nail animation with a fireball, which gives a little bit more of a DPS compared to spacing spells and nails properly. Very cool. And then you have 2 spells to clean up baby grassers.
Yep. I love murdering little fly babies.
Yeah, they're very annoying.
And here we get the only charm that this run gets, similar to a lot of other speedruns. We get the Shaman Stone charm, which is probably the single best charm in the game. It makes your spells bigger and also more damaging. And since spells are like basically the main DPS source for every single fight in the game, that is obviously very useful.
Oh no, Spirity, what are you doing? Talk.
Oh no. How could this happen?
I guess his controller disconnected or something.
Yeah, must have been.
But yeah, this is like one of the most iconic skips of the Hollow Knight, called the Shade Skip. When you die, the game spawns an enemy, and you can use it to do skips. And this is very interesting thing. Oh, let's go, first try.
So this is called wall cling storage, which, without getting too bogged down in the details, it just basically means that the game thinks you're on a wall when you're not on a wall. And that lets you store your dash momentum by entering the wall cling animation right after a dash. It's a very cool little technique that's gained a lot more popularity in the last couple of years when people just keep finding more and more applications for it. It used to be a very niche thing, but now it's gone in quite a few places, like the Blue Lake there.
And this another one, by performing dash right as the elevator opens. And here some more soul management for Geo and for upcoming, I guess, Gorgeous Husk fight. Well, there's not really much going on here, just some tight movement and soul collection. I guess that would be an interesting spot to read some donation, like one.
All right, we don't have something coming in right now, but I do want to mention that if you want to see Alec Head being upgraded to 103% instead of the 100% that we have right now, be sure to get some donations in within the next 5 hours. We are currently $170 out of the 500 total needed to upgrade that run.
Oh yeah, keep those coming. Already beat the first day's donation by quite a few.
And what is the status of the HK extra run, by the way? The one that Pest is doing?
That is met. We will have that after this round.
Amazing. Yeah, definitely make sure to stick around for that, everyone, after this run. It'll be fun.
And here you see some moving Geo-Rock called Gorgeous Husk, who drops quite a notable amount of Geo, which is 420. Very specific. Spirity didn't pick up all the coins, but yeah, just enough to make his way to the first, nail art. And nail arts are very, very important in this game, especially this one. So, what are we going to now, Axe?
It's the nail art that activates when you dash and does some kind of slash, I think, right?
Yeah, kind of. It makes nail go very big and very fast and reach high distances. And it also costs a lot of money, which is one of the reasons for Geo route to be this tight. So you can see Spirity having 745 Geo, and that little nail art costs 800. So you can see how close we are. And to fulfill our kind of, monetary desire, we need to kill some hoppers right here. who hoard quite a bit of Geo, 16 each. And you can see very, very calculated nail hits and spells to have just enough soul for fireballs and collect 96 Geo basically for the dash slash, and have 40 extra for an upcoming section, which is also quite Geo intensive. So yeah. you can see how tight this route is and how much effort was put into optimizing it.
This is quite rich for this part of the run, so I don't think Spirity should be having too much Geo trouble, thanks to...
Oh yeah. 40 over is a lot. Usually you would have like 20 at most, and you will be happy about it.
yeah, for sure. But the nice thing about those hoppers is that they are completely 100% RNG free, which is a rare delight to see in Hollow Knight. Like, you don't get RNG-less enemies very often in this game, but those are like easily my favorite NPC in the whole game because of that.
Speaking of RNG, very good point.
Oh, yeah.
Spirity is now going to the area called, well, first Spire, and then the Soul Sanctum. And Soul Sanctum features the most RNG-heavy enemies in this run. Hopefully we won't see a lot of that, but if it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. So yeah, hopefully nothing like that will happen.
Yeah, but thanks to the dash slash that we did just pick up there, we will be able to skip most of the annoying parts of Soul Sanctum, since...
Oh, nice backup, very nice backup.
Yeah, that was solid. Since there will be some lever skips done there, which one of which is actually being done in this room as well. Here we hit this lever from under the ground, and that lets us walk through this darkness. The game doesn't actually realize that you're in that area because you didn't enter it through the correct spot, so it never lights it up. Thankfully we are speedrunners, so we know how to manage ourselves around darkness.
Yes, and we will be using dash slash for all sorts of stuff. Like you see how early Spirity was able to hit that lever, and we will be doing a lot of those. Yeah,
lots of like micro optimizations like that, where you just use the dash slash to hit a lever that's otherwise would require like one more dash to get to it.
Since our first spell, Twister Death. Let's go.
Yeah, that one is a lot less annoying than the others, thankfully. Although that one can definitely screw you over as well if you're unlucky. And this is the first like proper big dash slash lever skip that we're getting. We're going to the Shade Soul upgrade by hitting this lever through the wall. Yep. And the Shade Soul basically just upgrades your regular fireball to a bigger and blacker fireball, and it makes it deal double damage and also have like 3 times the area. So
yeah,
obviously that is a very good upgrade to have in a run like this.
Another little optimization with hitting the elevator earlier with the dash slash.
Yep. And well, this is gonna be another lever skip right here.
Yeah. You just can see how like we like dash slash in this run. Basically use it for all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Oh, misclick.
That's a little rough. I think this guy isn't too tough. It's just a little mini boss here.
Oh, the dodge at the end though, that was like some like Matrix move.
And this next room again, it's called the Hell Room for a very good reason in other runs that are not able to skip the bottom part of it, but thankfully we have dash slash, so we can just do this thing where
and I'll imagine like, 3 or 4 enemies that teleport all over you down below and not much space to move around. So Hell Room for sure. Luckily we just can skip all of that.
And then we are heading into the boss of the area, which is Soul Master. And Soul Master usually dies pretty quickly here, thanks to the Shade Soul double hits, or sometimes even triple hits if you're super lucky.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see. If he decides to do an annoying attack or just not cooperate in general, it can be a little annoying, but we'll see how it goes for Spirity. And the first fireball Spirity actually did there hit some soul jars off screen. The soul jars just give you soul, obviously. That was a really clean fight. Lots of double hits. But the yeah, hitting the soul jars with the firebar is another like tiny optimization like that just like gives you extra soul in the fight, so you can really make use of all those double hits that you get. And then we have the quick kill strats for the second phase. Do you want to take those, Wally?
Yeah, sure. So there are a few strats you can use on the second phase. Spirity goes for up slashes, just basically tightly timed jumps and directional inputs to just barely avoid Soul Master's dives. There are some more sketchier strats when you basically stay on the wall and just do triple up slash and then damage tank into Shade Souls. But those are really dangerous, and Soul Master likes to troll you with fake dives. So it's very understandable that Spirity decided to avoid those for the marathon run. And still, up slashes are not free, but that was cleanly executed, so GG's.
Yeah, I've personally never been a fan of the wall strats either. They're just way too easy to mess up.
Yeah.
But they do look really cool when you get them.
Yeah. Here we see another lever skip, small one, just like that. And a walking storage, nice.
Yeah, that was actually a really clean room.
Yeah. And there's like another very important soul management thing. You can see Spirity down 2 hits on the soul totem. Soul totems just give you soul for hits. And soul management on this section is incredibly important because you need to use dive to break through the floors. And then you will have this basically soul. You need to save up a lot of soul for, it's like 3 splits from now. So yeah, you have to really calculate your soul collection strats. And oh, nice walking storage, almost got it through.
Well, yeah, that was quite impressive to get that one. And I don't think we actually talked about the dive ability in general, but yeah, that was the reason that we went to the whole Soul Sanctum area at all, is to get this dive spell that you've seen Spirity using to escape there. And it's basically just a downward spell that you can use, kind of like the fireball, except it does like this explosion after the dive that does a bunch of damage to enemies, and also gives you a good amount of iframes, which I'm sure if you're familiar with speedrunning like any game, you know that iframes are very invaluable for for a lot of combat and skip related things. So
yeah. Oh, that was some nice soul collection from Spirity here.
Yeah.
Another dive.
And the Geo is 300, so that is just enough to get the King Station stag.
Yeah, Spirity is just 11 Geo over what is needed here. You can see him charge and dash slash just for little air stall here. So yeah, dash slash stalls you in the air a little bit, just enough for the dash to refresh. And we will be seeing that soon on Crystal Peaks. Just like little usage of this little mechanic. Very cool.
Yeah, it's basically like a faster version of a fireball skip.
Yeah, and it doesn't require any soul.
Yeah.
Also, another little trick here. Spirity looks down after buying the stack bell, so when you look down, it pops up faster than it would usually do because of some, you know, game spaghetti.
Yeah. It like skips the game into thinking that the animation has finished when it hasn't finished yet for the bell. It's really weird stuff.
Yeah. What is notable about this section is that HP becomes incredibly valuable. You were seeing Spirity getting the bench inspire, and we have to keep this bench through a lot of very dangerous moments, and this is like this 5 HP is all the pool that we have up until the very next quit out. So yeah, getting hit here will lose a lot of time and also like make us put us at risk of dying.
Yeah, and in reality we don't even have 5 HP here. We have more like 3 because there's a good few damage tanks that are essentially required in this whole section that's coming up. So it's definitely the most like health intense part of the run, because we don't want to slow down for healing in the speedruns, obviously.
Yes. And Crystal Peaks is probably like the main movement intense area. A lot of little tricks and skips here. You can see a little lamp pogo. Now you may be able to see a trick called Pogax. Yeah, let's go, where you wait for the miner to throw an axe, and then you use it. Spirity, don't fall down.
Little sketch there, but got the pog axe.
Got the pog axe, that's important. Yeah, it saves 2 seconds, very, very important. Another like cycle intense room. Oh, go for the dog cycle. Okay, yeah, fell down a little bit. Nice going down for backup, maybe just unintentionally.
And this is what happens when you mess up like any room in Crystal Peaks.
Oh yeah.
Like make one tiny mistake, and all the cycles are just messed up because this area is super cycle based.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people's favorite area because of that, because it's like a lot of movements, but it is very punishing to mistakes.
Yeah, runners just love to IL this area because it has basically infinite optimization capabilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, we don't get a dash last storage there.
No,
it's a little trick, but in this next room we do get a dash slash, not stored, but the thing you were talking about earlier with the air stalling. There we go. Little cute trick.
Oh, and goes for the damage tank. Spirity is really brave. 2 HP here is a no joke.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we'll see a heal.
I think this is one of the parts of the run that look more impressive than it actually is, the lasers there in this room. Because honestly, as long as you just know how to hit the cycle, it's like you have a lot of room for error on those. But yeah, again, if you make a mistake there, you're just so screwed.
Yeah, also underplat. Woo!
oh, sorry. Yeah, I should have definitely wooed for that.
Yeah, and now we have Crystal Dash, which is basically the fastest horizontal this game has to offer, other than the Tram Pass, which you won't see.
No, yeah. I don't know if you can call Tram Pass movement, really. Then you would have to count stag stations as well, and I don't think that really tracks.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole for sure.
Or Dream Gates.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, here we see some Crashers movement. Crashers are an interesting part for sure, but Spirity gets no problem. And here's another little walking storage here through the room. And here's our first dark room. So the game has pickup called Lumafly Lantern, which is, well, a lantern that lights up a dark room like this one. But we didn't save Sly, so we won't have Lantern, which means that some areas we have to pass in the complete darkness. But luckily the rooms don't change, so we just memorize those. That was the first one then. And
that room is actually pretty nice for memorizing as well, because the dashes line up quite nicely, even in the dark. And here we are in the Crystallized Mount? Yeah, Crystallized Mount. Where Spirity is gonna do a little trick that's totally not a major glitch at all. Is using the dash slash to store the momentum during this animation from the dash, and then basically gain early control by sliding into the spikes while the animation is still supposed to be playing. It's a very neat trick that a lot of people don't really consider to be not a major glitch, but we all love it anyway because it's really cool.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of controversy when it was found out, and you know, like as usual, the category is called no major glitches, and as you probably know, no major glitches is quite an arbitrary distinction. So there will be naturally a lot of disagreement about the tech that's considered major or not. Well, this is a minor one, and yeah, it looks rather cool in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm really glad that that's part of the run. And here we're summoned into the dream world by the dreamers that are like the gatekeepers to the final boss of the game. And there will be just some little bit of platforming here, as well as the dream nail, which is the dream nail counted as a skill? I'm not actually sure.
Well, we don't count like dream gate as a skill. Oh, almost got it.
That's rough.
Yeah, that's rough. So this loses 11 seconds, and also is rather tight trick. So basically Spirity wanted to time his dash to get on top of the platform that's just spawning, and it saves a second if done well, but loses like 11 if you mess it up.
Yeah, falling in this area is really tough because there's like this whole animation that plays, and all the dream platforms have to like respawn at the start. So,
but here's not
the greatest place to fall.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess this is a point to read some donations if you have some.
We do. Perfect. We have $40 from Carrarium saying protect trans kids.
Hey, thanks, Gary.
And a $5 anonymous donation saying, in all caps, I should add, can we get a $5 Bergie dono train? Bergie. And
I approve
also remind you that there's still a bid war open for the Celeste Into the Jungle, where you get to pick the Celeste skin. Various options including Cataline Kirby, Bergie, Maddie with a crown, or Pride line.
Nice.
So get those Bergies in and pick your favorite skin.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Descent in Dark iframes, here's our first, like, real boss of the game, as real as Soulmaster. Yeah, which is usually a big gatekeeper for casual players, but we have two big and, like, damaging spells, one of which causes huge iframes. So yeah, here's Watcher Knights, and there are 5 of those, which have 220 HP, and we can kill them with 2 Darks and 1 Shade Soul double, just like Spirit has.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful and perfect, yeah. This run is, well, it's one of those, easy to survive, but very hard to get optimal. Oh, and Spirity gets some...
Oh my... This is some crazy RNG right now.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy. This is both great RNG and just amazing execution, like perfect game knowledge. Oh,
yes.
oh, that's just stupidly good.
Yeah, really nice fight there. Couldn't go much better than that.
Yeah, it's very hard to get a fight that's better than this one. Too bad that Spirity got hit right before the fight and like got some jumps messing up. So that was like, kind of calm sub-tier fight.
Yeah, honestly, very close.
That was very good, like as good as it gets. And here's like our first Dreamer Rurian. Now those little bastards will pay for trying to enclose us in the dream world. And the first one dies right here. Lurian the Watcher. Rest in peace.
Yeah, we just suck Lurian's soul into ourselves and be on our way.
Yep. Unlock one of the seals that hold the final boss.
Yep. We get this beautiful cutscene.
Yep. Unskippable.
And thankfully, at least, because there's 2 cutscenes that play here, but one of them is skippable on this patch, but on the more recent patches, they actually made them both unskippable for some reason. Don't ask me why. But yeah, I'm thankful that at least we get to skip one of them.
Yeah. So like latest patches of the game lose almost 40 seconds to this patch just because one of the cutscenes on each Dreamer is unskippable.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And got some mega stonks from the chest.
Yeah, 655 Geo is what the chest can give you. Spirity missed some, but it shouldn't be a problem because Spirity got a lot of Geo, like just incidental all over the place. And we're now backtracking into the basin, which is another area of the game. We are going for our next ability. So here we kill the Dreamer, which isn't really an ability, it's just like a key to the final boss. And now we're continuing with the route to get some really cool skips.
Oh yeah, we're getting all the Isma skips here, which is first a pretty precise spike pogo to get into a tunnel that you're supposed to enter through another direction, and then some acid skips with the crystal dash.
The gaming.
Very nice spike skip there from Spirity. And this is basically just a gauntlet of 3 skips that you really cannot afford to miss too many times because of the health constraints. But here's this first of the acid skips. And Spirity gets it. Second one, let's see.
Oh, great.
Yes, yeah.
And does the form pogos just as a chef's kiss, And so you're seeing Spirity dashing into the wall and then jumping out of it. So it's a little technique that community is currently calling the trans dash. Speaking of trans rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason of that trick is calling like that is because it kind of transfers a part of Dash's horizontal momentum and allows you to reach further horizontal distance of a wall jump at the expense of your vertical distance, and it becomes unvaluable in some places, just like here. And probably in the upcoming section as well, we'll be highlighting that where he gets it.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky to explain without like a proper example, but all you need to know is that the dash transitions its direction because we tell it to.
Yeah. It's one of those little mechanics that makes Hollow Knight speedruns way more rich than they were, you know, probably intended to be.
Yeah, for sure. This game has a surprising amount of like movement mechanics under the hood that you wouldn't really know about without being a speedrunner.
Yeah, for sure. I think Hollow Knight is like a perfect example of a unintentionally great speed games, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. Although I think Metroidvanias tend to make good speed games just on the account of the routing being interesting usually.
Yeah, for sure. But Hollow Knight is just packed with like movement mechanics that
all
like combine in a very rich ways.
Could I interrupt you with a quick donation?
Oh yeah, sure.
Because Bergie asked for Bergie Train, and I already see some $5 rolling in. One from Anonymous, saying Bergie, and one from Chuckles W73, also saying Bergie. So keep the Bergie Train going.
Nice. And yeah, here you see like so-called Mauler Gauntlet. It's basically just like tight crystal dashes and jump timed to avoid as many damage as you can, as much of damage as you can. Spirity got hit 3 times, which is a bit suboptimal, but hopefully should survive the fight.
He'll probably heal at least once. At least I know I would. Maybe he's braver than me.
Totally do, but yes, you can see Spirit is flexing with walking storages there on the edge, and yet spawning the broken vessel a bit earlier by killing the life seeds with Crystal Dash.
Yeah, this is a fairly scripted fight here. Yeah, you just basically do a couple of double hits at the beginning there with the Shade Soul, and then wait until he does this headbang attack, during which you can just spam your Descending Darks there and abuse the hell out of those iframes to basically immediately kill him.
I was really tightly executed.
Yeah, it was for sure. The Broken Vessel, I think, actually kind of trolled him a little there. It took a little bit of a while to actually get it to start the headbang, but
yeah, and Spirity almost like dashed below him, barely dodged the stomp.
Yeah, it's that's like a 90% scripted fight, but there is a little bit of RNG there too, to see how long he waits to do the headbang. But here we acquired the Wings ability, which is one of the last movement abilities that we actually get in the speedrun, and it's just a double jump really. And I'm sure you can see how a double jump unlocks a lot of new movement and makes it a lot more interesting.
Yeah, double jump in this game is very special because it doesn't just doubles your jump, it also has a little dip before the second jump, and this dip makes the wings movement incredibly rich. If you pay attention, you can see how it's used a lot, like how this dip is getting accounted for in many places.
Yeah, it's I think they just wanted to make the wings actually feel a little bit more realistic. Like it takes a little bit of time between the actual button press and the upwards momentum to begin, because you know you have to like reach the wings up before flapping them down. Yeah. So yeah, it definitely brings a lot more depth to the wings movement, like you said.
Here's another instance of oh, sorry for interrupting you.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying that some people do find it a little bit annoying that the dip is there. I know that, but I think it's for the greater good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, here we're going to probably the hardest boss fight of the game. Definitely, like probably the biggest gatekeeper for new runners and also for veteran runners. It's Hornet again, but now she's stronger and faster and even more annoying.
And also has like a billion new attacks and a parry. And no one likes parries.
Yeah, everyone hates parries.
Especially because enemies in this game can parry your spells for some reason. It makes no sense, but they can do it, and it's super frustrating.
Horner is a higher being, you know.
Wait, is she like... in the actual lore? I don't know lore.
She's a daughter of the king, so probably.
Huh. Yeah, we need Mossbag on this.
On his face. Yeah, here we see the Hornet 2 fight. Hopefully, Spirity will... Okay, nice. Needle throw is an opportunity for dive, just like that. I have Extreme on mute, so it's hard to tell when Spirity gets a double.
Oh yeah, that is true.
That was a double for sure.
Yeah. Basically, this fight mostly revolves around getting these double hits after the staggers, because Hornet has like really high knockback from nail hits and spell hits. Nice. So yeah, that was a really solid fight, by the way. But yeah, it's super easy to get the knockback on her by just like firing the fireball at the right moments to get her to get knocked back into the second hit of the fireball. Since we have the Shade Soul now, it's not as easy on the first Hornet fight, because back then we only had the regular fireball, didn't even have Shaman Stone, so yeah, it's quite a fun fight. I know that's the favorite fight for most people in all skills.
Yeah, it's very fun to try to optimize and to get good times. Incredibly satisfying.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's another little trick, like early control, skipping the waking up animation.
It's really easy to invalidate your run there, though. If you get early control too soon, you'll make your character invisible, and that is a no-go for our rule sets.
Yep. Luckily, Spirity didn't get it. Like there's a clear visual cue to avoid getting invisible control, so it's very controllable.
Oh, and also the reason we went here at all is to get the King's Brand there, which unlocks the Abyss area. We need the Abyss Shriek and the Shaded Globe from Abyss. Those are two upgrades to our existing abilities.
Yep.
And yeah, we'll be grabbing those in due time. But right now we just went there to get the key to access that area, really.
Yep. And here we're going to get our next nail art. You remember Dash Slash? And I will be getting Cyclone Slash, aka another movement ability.
Yeah, the Cyclone Slash is fun because it effectively has the same effect on your falling speed as an inventory drop, except it doesn't reset your momentum to 0 when you start it, which inventory drops do. So it's basically like a lightweight inventory drop that's a little bit faster in some scenarios.
It also lets you move horizontally a little bit, unlike inventory drop.
Oh yeah, that's true as well.
That was a very nice cycle at Spirity gotten to get on top of that crawler and kill him with the Crystal Dash.
Yeah, that's King Spaz backwards here. Like, this is the room that we started to run in, but doing that area backwards is actually quite fun there. I enjoy doing that.
Yeah, here... a little bit unlucky at the end, but that Cyclone was overall really, really clean.
Yeah, you can see the Spirity has practiced the split a lot.
Yeah, like Spirity is the Cyclone Slash runner.
For sure.
That's definitely sub 2 splits, like, without question.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't really see any real mistakes there during that.
There was like one crawler that gave like bad RNG, but execution-wise it was like as clean as it gets.
And thankfully, is this guy called Mato?
Yeah, it's Mato.
Yeah, Mato doesn't charge us for the nail art like his brother Oro does in the Dash Slash area, so we get that one for free. Don't have to consider that in the geo management.
Yeah. Oh, also one thing I think we didn't mention is that Spirity opened the options menu for a brief moment. That the game is played on Chinese, which is just as many speed games go, just the fastest language to match dialogues through.
Yeah, it just makes everything go faster in the dialogues, thanks to Chinese being such a more like information-dense language than English. There's a lot less characters for the same amount of information, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like Tasser's explained me that the amount of characters doesn't really make that much of a difference for a human person, but it's just the speed with which you like mash them lines well with like how Chinese being rendered on the screen. So yeah, that makes sense. It's a bit weird, but long story short, Chinese is fast.
Yeah.
And here we're going to the probably worst boss of the game. Well, in many categories.
Yeah, it's Umu time, and let's be honest, no one likes Umu. But thankfully, this is honestly one of the best runs to fight Umu in terms of RNG. Umu is an absolute menace in any percent, but in all skills runs, we can quite easily get the one cycle every single time as long as we don't make mistakes. So that gives a lot less room for Umu to give you bad RNG and do annoying things.
Like worst case scenario, Umu will lose you like 8 to 10 seconds if you get super unlucky with the cycles and extra attacks.
Yeah.
But overall, it's under your control to get one cycle every time, and we'll see if Spirity gets it. I would expect to. That would be a great showcase on the marathon, no pressure at all.
Yeah, for sure. So this is effectively like a cycle-based boss. You have to wait out a bunch of attacks, and then after that, our good friend Murray will come and open up Umu for you to do some damage. And let's see. Okay, no extra attack. Umu can do one more attack than that.
Oh, just a bit earlier on the first fireball.
Yeah, that's right. No one cycle because of the positioning of Umu and the slight timing there on the Shade Soul. But the good thing about Umu in this run is that even if you don't get the damage pattern there on the first cycle, it's basically guaranteed that you'll get 2 cycles. For a second I thought Spirity was gonna miss the 2 cycle there, and I got scared.
Yeah, Shade Soul is just so much damage that it's very hard to mess it up to the point where you don't get 2 cycle. But it's still possible. I did that in a tournament round.
Oh yeah, it's possible, but it shouldn't happen, right?
It shouldn't happen, yeah. And well, luckily it didn't.
yeah. We're good.
Yeah. It's still props to the runner to remain the composture after they missed 1 cycle, because the 1 cycle attempt puts Umu in rather inconvenient out of bounds spot, and it's then hard to frame far more soul for the next cycle, so it can get dirty, but Spirity managed to get to cycle back up.
Yep. And then we just suck up Monomon here.
Yep.
And we can be on our way to the next place. Ever, right?
Now we need to pick up first. Hole in the Wraiths and the Great Slash. Well, Great Slash and then Hole in Wraiths. And this is, well, in my opinion, by far the best section of the run. The run just opens up. Just look at this thing of beauty. First, we need to get out of archives. Archives backwards. It's just, parkour, hitting some jellies, and climbing up. Look at this little wall jump right for the transition. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, this is we talked about Crystal Heart and Cyclone Slash being fun movement splits. This Great Slash split is definitely up there as well. Yeah. There's just a lot of beautiful movement here that you get to do.
Also some jelly RNG, which he got very good. Sometimes this jelly can hit you out of your Crystal Dash and deal double damage. Luckily didn't happen.
Yep. Now we're just heading up into Green Path. And there really isn't that much going on here outside of just cool movement, right?
Yeah. It's a lot of explained little things, but it just looks beautiful, so just appreciate it how it is. And if we have any donations, we can read it right now.
We do. We have some more Burgies, actually. Having dinner on their Burgie. The Salix the Sea Witch with their $5 and the Burgie. Markers 11 with the Burgie. Marlin with a $10 saying a big Burgie. Slightly bigger Burgie, that one. And Cactus also with $10 saying a Burgie. Let's see Leghead get to 103%. And speaking of, we're at 245 out of $500 for that incentive. So we're almost on half of it.
Nice.
Keep those Burgies coming.
Oh, almost missed Crystal Dash here. Crystal Dash is an interesting one. As you can see, you can get it from the wall. And, well, since it's a Celeste-based marathon, right, we can talk about input buffers. Crystal Dash Crystal Dash input cannot be buffered. So basically you need to press the crystal dash input perfectly right as you touch the wall. Otherwise you will just slide down, as you've seen.
Yeah, the buffers in this game are not great and definitely not consistent. Like
not consistent at all.
It just feels completely random which inputs can be buffered and which can't. So
yeah,
that's definitely a pain of speedrunners.
Some inputs have no buffer at all, like crystal dash and any input out of crystal dash. Yeah. By the way. And some movement has infinite buffers, like for example, wings jump out of dash.
Yeah, it's like it might as well be infinite. It's so long there.
Yeah. And now we're going to get a hole in wraiths. Hole in wraiths? I don't know how to pronounce this word.
Is this wraiths, right? I think you said it right.
Yeah, and another gel RNG check that Spirity passed, well, by stopping Crystal Dash earlier and didn't risk it.
Yeah.
HP is incredibly important on this section of the game, again.
Yeah, exactly. There's all the way to Hera from here, you don't get any free heals, and again, there's a just one damage tank, right?
Yeah, I think one damage tank intentional and another you can go for on the last devout. So one one required, another one optional. And yeah, here's like the arena, like little gauntlet with these mosquitoes, wits or skits. All calculated, every hit of soul, every spell. Very nicely done, just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's a very low RNG arena there, so it's super satisfying to get that one right, and Spirity just executes it perfectly.
And here's our upward spell that we weren't gonna see in this run.
Yeah, we literally never use this in its unupgraded state, and even after upgrading it, we use it on one single fight, and that's the final boss fight.
Yeah.
So not super useful, but don't be mistaken, the Abyss Shriek spell is very, very powerful. It's just that we get it so late in the run that we don't really get time to use it.
Yeah. Here's some vaulting storage. Oh, almost got it all the way through.
I've never actually seen that one.
Yeah, this is one of the new instances of walking storage, like transition ones. You touch the wall right before sliding down the transition, and this wall touch state transfers to the next screen. So by timing your dash perfectly, you can like remain it.
Yeah, it definitely looks very slick when you get it.
Yeah.
And here we got the hazard respawn on these thorns. The game just thinks that you're under those thorns when you hit them in that very specific spot. Like they have like this hazard respawn hitbox that just barely extends up there, so we get to skip just a little bit of movement there, only a few seconds worth, but still neat.
Yeah, this is like long Petra arena where you just dash through, collect some soul, and try your best not to get hit. And Spirity released C-Dash just a little bit too early and got hit. Also 2 HP is a bit sketchy because the upcoming room is the hardest dark room in the game. Preach.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this
nice
is
cyclone drop.
I don't know how tight strats Spirity goes for here in this next room. It can be really tough if you go for the hard strats, or like just a little bit tough if you don't.
Yes. But well, Spirity goes for like ceiling. Okay. Very nice. Nice.
Yeah,
he decided to go on a bit of a safer side. Didn't like go all out, which I can respect. Because in the last dark room, there's one particularly notorious spider that can just RNG hit you, and you don't want to be at 1 HP in that room. In this room.
the one at the bottom. At least if you don't like time your dash correctly for it. But
this one.
Oh, you mean this one, right?
Yeah, I mean this one.
I thought you meant the previous room, but
yeah, previous room is kind of controllable.
Yeah. But we have made our way into the Beast End where Hera resides, and Hera is the last of the Dreamers. So after this little gauntlets, we'll be able to enter the final boss fights. But we won't be doing it quite yet, since we still need to get some of the skills for the all skills category.
Yep.
And that's a cute little Devin in the shortcut in the Beast Den. If you're familiar with the casual playthrough of this game, you might know that this area is not supposed to be this this short. You're supposed to get stuck on a bench and have these spider guys be mean to you, but instead we can just use that little shortcut in the ceiling that they placed there for some reason to reach basically just the end of the dungeon immediately.
Yeah. If you want full Bizden experience, you need to watch unmuted any % runs, and this is how you learn like curse in your like language.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the easiest versions of this area that any of the HK speedruns do, because you don't need to do any of the actual area. It's a real run killer in 90% runs.
This is very nice little kill of the devout on the way back for Geo. And Spirity is actually really stoked, and oh damn, shoutouts to 56. Guess why?
Wait, what? Why? Oh, are we? Oh, we're ending up. Yeah. Oh, this is amazing. That must be calculated, right? There's no way Spirity would accidentally get 56 Geo after his tag station, right?
Yeah, no way. Here's another instance of fast stall, and yeah, here's our last purchase in this category.
Oh yeah, after this, the Geo is completely irrelevant. And well, you can see that at this point we have a little bit of extra Geo, thanks to the devout skill that we do on the way back from Hera, because that one is not necessary to do, really. Wait.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I know, like modern runs, they like to cut out on incidental Geo because they actually start relying on this devout.
Yeah.
But it still gives a plenty, as you can see, like 56 over.
And there's a cute little bulkling storage into this abyss drop, and the room that we're heading down right now will be very cool when we come back and we have to actually climb it back up. It's definitely a fan favorite room in the speedrun.
Yeah, here's an instance of jump out of Crystal Dash. So like you can't buffer the jump, so you need to time your jump perfectly when the Crystal Dash animation is fully done, and it's very hard to do optimally.
Yeah, this is a very scary room because all these enemies, as you can see right there, thank you Spirity for demonstrating that, all these enemies do 2 damage to you, and Spirity was on only 4 HP there, thanks to the accidental hit in the previous room, so just one more hit from any of those would have been, well, death. And that would have meant a respawn all the way back at Hera. Yeah. So quite a big time loss, but
yeah, absolutely zero
maneuvers.
Absolutely zero close calls in the speedrun so far.
Yeah, none. Definitely have not been like pixels from death multiple times.
Oh yeah, and here we're picking up Shade Cloak. This is an upgraded dash that when timed right gives you an ability to dash through enemies and through some obstacles like void tendrils. And we're just saving and quitting to skip an animation here.
I haven't seen that C-dash right there. That's cute.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. C-dash early control. And, here's another instance of Crystal Dash buffer. Yeah, you need to press it perfectly. It's very hard.
Yeah, and especially around like corners like that. Yeah. The game for some reason does not immediately let you Crystal Dash if you grab the wall on a corner. You need to be like properly on the wall to be able to C-dash. So that is another little annoyance there.
Yeah. Hollow Knight speedrunner sliding down the walls in an attempt to Crystal Dash is like such an iconic duo.
Yeah.
Here's a little use of Shade Cloak. Like dashing through that curler.
Then we get the final skill of the entire run that we need to get, since it is all skills. The Abyss Shriek. This is a really cool animation, by the way. I love this room.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And this ability does the same amount of damage when you hit the entire ability as 3 fireball casts. So you can imagine that is very powerful, and its power will be seen here.
And it also deals 3 to 4 ticks of damage, which all count towards the stagger count, which is invaluable on Hollow Knight
as well.
And here's the Abyss Climb. This is like this is just the embodiment of all skills as the movement category. Every little ball jump, every little turnaround, every little enemy pogo is just so perfectly done and optimized.
So clean.
So clean, yeah. Like
Just
one little
that.
mistake, yeah. Like one tiny mistake, but absolutely perfect otherwise. So beautiful.
That is definitely like if you want to show someone how like high level Hollow Knight movements can look like, just show them Abyss Climb from any Elska speedrun, and it's just an absolute feast for your eyes.
Yeah, and it's absolutely RNG free, so all the enemy cycles are always the same. So it's just, you know, you and like your basically fingers. So naturally, when Celeste runners run Hollow Knight, they just instantly jump onto Abyss Climb.
Yeah, pretty much.
Menderbach, let's go.
That is a 2% chance for that guy to appear anytime you go down the well, so I'm glad we got that. It does nothing for the speedrun, it's just a little Easter egg.
That's absolutely blessed right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here we see the seal on the black egg breaking. That's thanks to our hard work sucking up all those dreamers. So now we can finally go and enter the final area with the titular, yes, words, Hollow Knight fights. And well, first you have to break these chains, which are actually kind of neat.
First you have to not get an infinite load.
Oh yeah, that's true. This is oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It's a bit spooky, but on these chains we can use Cyclone Slash to hit this multiple times, which is
nice.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more interesting to kill them than in any percent runs, for example. Yeah, Hollow Knight, take it away, Wally.
Yeah, Hollow Knight is a fast fight if done right, and as you can see, Spirity will try to get as close to Hollow Knight as possible to get as many shrieks as he can, and also, yeah, do like that, you know, like parry and dash away to set up for more shrieks. And here we already see the first scream. This is really fast fight so far. Oh, couple dashes. Dashes are really bad. Just as I like call it the fast fight, Hollow Knight decides to troll a bit. And here's our self-stab phase where Hollow Knight doesn't take any damage, so we just use it to farm a little bit of soul and more dashes away. Spirity does the snail hits really nicely. And more shrieks. 1, 2. Oh,
nice.
Nice.
That's the last scream.
Yeah, there would be a last scream where you have to like skip it through the damage tank, but Spirity just did a lot of damage to just straight up skip it, which is very, very good. GG's, very, very nicely done fight, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely, GG. That was a super good fight. That scream skip was so clean.
Yeah.
And that's
wow, 50-53 on a loadless timer. That's, I mean, for the marathon run is just amazing.
Yeah. How close is that to Spirity PB?
It's like a minute slower, right?
Yeah, a minute off. That's so good for a marathon. Yeah, that's so actually
good. Like considering 2-cycle Umu and like King's Pass, you know, like Heartfall and all that. This is very good time. This is really good time.
Yeah. Props to Spirity.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, here's some.
Oh, some golds here.
Yeah, some golds.
What are those golds?
I couldn't like quite catch them because the like live split on Spirity stream is a bit.
Lurian? Yeah, Lurian is no surprise. That was the Watcher Knights fight was crazy.
Yeah, that Watcher Knights fight was absolutely ridiculous.
And Great Slash as well. That was yeah, I saw no mistakes in that split really. Well, there was one little thing with the crystal dashes at the end, but outside of that, that was like a really good Great Slash as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Like GG's to Spirity. Like any claps in the chat, like go hype. That was a great run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indeed, just a fast-paced Hollow Knight is a joy to watch every time.
Yeah, I love to see it.
And I guess now we will have something special, right? After this round.
Do. If you want to stick around, that's I think Bess said that's fine.
Nice.
But first of all, where can people find you? If you want to add something, feel free to do.
Well, I guess we have to like shout Spirity first because
totally
himself. So yeah, go follow Spirity. add the link that I just posted to the chat. And yeah, some epic Hollow Knight, and maybe sometimes Celeste speedruns. I've definitely seen Spirity doing some Celeste on stream at least once.
But indeed, since everyone has been so generous and kind to donate for this incentive, Pest, after a short break, will show off a glitched run entering the Colosseum of Fools. So I'm looking forward to what that will look like.
Oh yeah, definitely stick around for that. That will be quite a thing to look at.
It's a show. It's a show for sure.